Clinical documentation improvement is the core for healthcare and is often the most challenging entity as well. Clinical documentation improvement, CDI, is an accurate description of a patient's clinical status into coded data, which is being translated into quality reporting. The quality reporting may include physician's report cards, reimbursement, disease tracking, trending, and research. With the increased documentation requirements for ICD-10, it is vital that healthcare settings review and evaluate their current method of handling documentation, either manually or electronically. Some common challenges in establishing a CDI program involves missing information, illegible handwriting, and incomplete reports. A CDI program may lead to complete and accurate documentation for data analysis and interpretation of the medical record documentation. CDI staff would analyze data. They would query physicians if needed, track CDI programs' performance, and successfully communicate with physicians, administrations, and HIM staff. So take a look at the table 7.2, which displays examples of the application of IG, information governance principles, into a CDI program. With the increased documentation requirements for ICD-10, it is vital that healthcare settings review and evaluate their current method of handling documentation. So as we look at the challenges in establishing a CDI program, as I mentioned earlier, there will be missing information, illegible handwriting, and incomplete reports. A CDI program may lead to complete and accurate documentation for data analysis and interpretation of a medical record documentation. And there has to be communication, right, between the physicians, the HIM professionals, as well as the administration. Meaningful use program goals would include coherent technology adoption for improvements in healthcare. It was implemented by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid, CMS, in 2010, and it is a 3-stage program and was part of the Health Information Technology of Economic and Clinical Act, the HITECH Act. The primary goal of the program is to promote the widespread adoption of electronic health records, ultimately creating an infrastructure that improves the quality, the safety, and efficiency of patient care. Now, to fulfill this goal, healthcare providers would receive incentives payments. Eligible providers who are not exhibiting meaningful use will receive less than 100% of their Medicare fee schedule. As an organization progresses from stage 1 through stage 3, it identifies what are core meaningful use objectives of an organization: patient engagement, clinical quality measures, interoperability, patient access, and self-management tools. Many quality measures, such as the one from the Agency of Healthcare Research and Quality, rely on the International Classification of Disease 10th revision, which is ICD-10 codes. Increasing the detail and better depicting severity of illness will help clarify the connection between a provider treatment and the patient's condition in a clinical setting. And along with ICD-10 codes, this could help in extracting relevant data from an administrative system. So capturing these increased volumes of of codes in the ICD-10 coding system provides the opportunity for use of information technology tools and systems. So, for example, of such tools may include computer assistant coding, natural language processing, artificial intelligence, which they call AI, and machine learning, which they call ML. The Learning Health System revision is about leading healthcare in health to big data to empower all stakeholders in healthcare to learn large. The LHS is a platform for combining the technology policy and processes such that a higher quality of care that is safe and affordable is provided through the empowerment of a health information technology tool. IG would be a very useful piece to add to an LHS environment, learning health system environment, and it could be woven into many components within the LHS cycle. So let's take a look at the LHS cycle. The process is applying the learning health system concept into practice. There's assemble data, analyze the data, interpret the findings, feedback, change current process, and that process just continues into this circle. All right, so now this ends this part of our session. In our next session, we will talk about the HIM professional roles in information governance.